So in July, we flew from Atlanta to Lima, Peru. Took about 7 hours, and we're going on a go-ahead trip, which should be pretty interesting. But in July, it's winter time in South America, and as you can see, it doesn't look very good. So it's about 50 degrees, but overcast in Lima. So this was the first meeting with our group. What a great group it turned out to be. This is our first, I believe it's lunch in Lima, and we met fabulous people on this trip. But the weather was so-so. So after lunch, we went to go sightseeing. And there is our tour director, Juan Carlos.
Regardless if it's like a national qualifier or a national championship, there's always people. There are always people there.
So after a short bus ride, we are on tour. There's our tour guide for the city, and here is most of the gang that's in our go-ahead group. So I just panned around, and this was a very pretty church. There were tons of people selling everything, churros, people looking for handouts, but it was a pretty nice looking church. As you can see right now. Now we're walking down a pedestrian way, and we're going to the central square, which should be quite interesting. Beautiful shops, and once again, people selling things all over the place. So after a short walk, we come to what we think is their parliament building, and look at this. There are two ravens on top of this statue. No idea, but they're just hanging out being cool.
Let's stop here for a minute. There's a visitor in the presidential palace. Yeah. I don't know, but it's somebody that can because you see that they put a ramp. Pan American Now, this is the presidential palace. This is the public.
So we're taking a bus back to our hotel, but unfortunately it got stuck between a car and a sign, and we could not make a right-hand turn. And man, we blocked traffic. Oh, they were blocks and blocks of cars. And some of the cars tried to get around us. Some rode on the sidewalk, like you see that one right there going on the sidewalk. It took about 15 minutes to go back and forth, and finally we got the bus. So the next morning we are going from Lima to Cusco. It's a 3-hour drive, and then you can see we took a flight from Cusco all the way around for the Nazca Lines. So this is the Pacific coastline of Peru, and notice everything is closed because it is definitely their winter time. So this was quite long, like I said, 3 hours to Cusco. That was a long trip. We're finally at a village where the airport is, and it's quite lovely, and it's much warmer temperature than Lima. So now we're going to the plane, and let me tell you a little bit about the Nazca Lines.
I want to ride.
Incredibly, they were made 500 BC. Nobody knows who made them, and you only can see them from the air. There are about 70 of these crazy designs in the Peruvian desert. They have birds, fish, monkeys, humans, trees, flowers, just about anything you can imagine. And like I said,
I want to ride to the
who
plane
made them? Because you can only see them from the air. And the hummingbirds that you're going to see, they're a football field long. Yeah.
Be gentle now, don't do any loops. That's the quote of the trip so far. Be gentle, don't do any loops.
Yeah.
Toss some holy water on them.
So finally, we're in the plane on our way to see the Nazca Lines from the air. It should be right before we get to the Nazca Lines, we're only 2,800 feet, and we're only 14 degrees below the equator. So the first figure you're going to see is the astronaut, and it looks just like an astronaut.
There you go.
The next two figures you're going to see is the monkey and an upside down dog.
Under the wing now. Here we go, actually.
Now we're going to see my most favorite, the hummingbird, a spiral, a piece of seaweed, a spider, and a condor, all in one shot. Should be pretty cool.
Under the wing now, over the flat mountain, the hummingbird is an iconic figure, very famous. Okay, right side, the spiral, 70 meters, 70 feet, and represents the use.
So this hotshot pilot goes right through the middle of the spiral, but that is the Pan American Highway down there. Runs from the United States all the way down to the tip of South America, and they did it in 1937. They had no clue the Nazca Lines were there. So they could only see it from the air, and they didn't see it from the air at all in 1937.
The rectangle to the bottom, close to the left corner, outside we have the condor. 165 meters long.
Look at that.
Forward, as a plant or potato flower.
Oh yeah. So this is a picture of the lizard that got cut right in half by the Pan American Road. Then we have a tree, some hands, and finally a parrot.
The lizard. And coming forward, the flower. Now I'm recording for you. Right. Below the right wing, the lizard, the whatever tree, and the hands. The hands with that yours again. People. The parrot.
So now we're heading home, and I still can't believe those Nazca Lines were made around 3,000 years ago by who knows? Nobody knows, because they had to do it by the air. So now we're going to fly from Lima, Peru to Cusco, Peru, and it takes about an hour and 20 minutes. And so here we are.
There we go. Okay. Welcome to Cusco. Welcome to my favorite city in this country. Okay, I love Cusco. Cusco is like Vegas. What happened in Cusco stays in Cusco. Check the weather, it's fantastic. That's what I was saying. It looked like it's cold, but it's not. It's really warm. Let me introduce our driver today. His name is Milton.
Okay, so here we are at 11,300 feet, and this is Cusco, Peru.
It's much larger than we thought. 500,000 inhabitants, and they said 500,000 tourists. And our hotel is right there. So today's the day that Peru is playing, is it Chile, Michelle?
No, Brazil.
Brazil, and everybody is in the town square, as you can see right there. And there's the church, but everybody is watching the big TV screen in the center of the square. And there is the flag of Peru. There's the street. Streets are kind of narrow, as you can see, and up and down.
Take a picture.
South America is 5,000 years old. 5,000 years old. Time Egyptians, Mesopotamians. That nice bird, I don't know, oh, right in the car, there is, okay, is part of the Andean flicker, okay, is of the family of the pickers, okay, like the woodpecker.
Oh, the woodpeckers. Oh, the peckers.
The woodpeckers. Yes, but this is the Andean picker, okay?
The Andean
And
pecker.
this make Bolivia, okay? So in 6 countries, not in the full country of the, but the portion of the 6 countries.
Inca?
Okay, the Incas territory, and it's another here. So the Incas territory is like this, pretty large, like a banana.
Back up just a little ways. Yeah, here we are. Here's a kind of a bad crew right here. Connie, RJ, Michelle.
They're gonna land on my back.
Yeah, that would work. That would work. Okay, and we're at where are we?
12,000 feet.
No.
Sacsquahuman.
Yeah, I thought it was
Woman.
Sexy Woman. We're a Sexy Woman. So that evening we took a cooking class in Cusco. Sorry the picture's so blurry, but we made all sorts of great stuff. So we cooked this, we did soup, we did hors d'oeuvres, and all sorts of great stuff. We were pretty good with it. So now we're on our way to Pisac, where there's a cool market, but the road is incredibly steep, rough, and over 12,000 feet. So here's Michelle jumping up in the air because we made it through some treacherous roads, and this is the Sacred Valley very close to this market town of Pisac.
Very good, nice.
So now we're in Pisac, and here's a guinea pig hotel, and they call them cuy, and we're going to eat them in about an hour or two in a different village.
No, gracias.
Durazno casera, durazno dulce.
Take a lot. It's live. See, there's that mask that was talking about there.
Oh boy, I'm pretty sure I hear
yeah.
pan flute. Pretty sure of it. Great.
Really into music.
So here's our crazy group in a coffee chocolate shop practicing our llama hand gestures. I believe it was someone's birthday. We had a great time.
Okay, wait. I gotta do it. We gotta do it again.
So from Pisac, we go to Coya, which is the ultimate town if you want to have cuy. And there's actually a holiday. The second week in October, a Friday in October, is Cuy Day in Peru. Can you make a sound like a cuy now? Oh, there we go. Yeah.
But actually, I don't eat guinea pig.
Oh, don't. You're on film saying that. Peruvians all eat guinea pig.
It's a pet. Come on, what's wrong with you?
So cuy, guinea pig, is not a new food in Peru. They've been eating it for 5,000 years.
Crystal said she said, you do first. Yes.
Here's the cuy. We're all ready. A little bit of potato, a little bit of cuy. And here's what cuy looks like. And here's a little bit of cuy. Oh shit, that's a lot. We're going to try a little bit of cuy right now.
Okay, you may start it. Just get one apiece and your potato and your...
What do you think?
It's crunchy, it's pretty good. So it's a cross between chicken and rabbit for a taste. So now we're going to Urubamba, where our hotel is, but we're going to push ahead to a town I absolutely can't pronounce. But here we go, Ollantaytambo. We just climbed up there, 300 and something steps up there. Got a little winded right there, but powered it up there and came back down. It was nice. So on the way back to our hotel in Urubamba, we spot these mountain climbers going up to stay in these incredible places on the side of a cliff. But it's almost nighttime, so we don't know if these guys are actually going to make it. And there they are right there. They're only halfway up the mountain. Wow.
What kind of waiver they gonna send?
I don't know, man, but
No friggin' way.
Yeah.
No way.
wow. They still got a long ways to go. So now we are on the train to Aguascalientes, which is very close to Machu Picchu, and this train takes off from the town that I can't pronounce.
This one okay, right?
Ooh, no.
And they're always there.
What's that?
Yeah. Right, okay, I just...
Oh yeah, no, we did. We took students to first year teaching Yeah.
Okay, Crystal, you want me to ask for? Crystal. Crystal? Here we go.
Oh yeah, this is pretty.
They're gonna bring you the chocolate so you can put it on top of the fruit.
Okay.
So this is the train to Aguascalientes, see? Aguascalientes? Okay.
Or Machu Picchu Pueblo.
Yeah. La misma.
Right.
When did they change?
They didn't.
So after taking a wild ride up the steep mountain, here we are at Machu Picchu. Well, Machu Picchu is about 8,000 feet high. That's not bad. But it was established in 1449 by the Incas, and they only stayed there 100 years. And I thought the Spanish kicked them out, but the Spanish never reached Machu Picchu. So nobody knows why they left, but everybody thinks that they went into the Amazon rainforest.
It's just the light is not good for photos, so. Oh, okay. At the corner, yeah. This is where a lot of people take the pictures.
Tito.
Temple, similar style to Cusco, that is a Mr. Hayan Bingham asked for help to begin with national geography to make the task. Because Mr. Hayan Bingham met all forest, under forest, like that down there. Trees, bushes, plants, and that works from 1912 to 1915. 4 years. Or Indian people for the Andes. No Indian, Andes people. Both names valid. Quechua culture or Indian culture. No Inca culture. Inca just one person. And normally we have the
There's like 10 or 15 terraces up there.
I know.
Inca town, Inca community, Inca surroundings.
I mean, I guarantee there's probably another one of these somewhere else. You know what I mean? They haven't
Oh,
even
you're
found
right.
yet.
Yeah.
Just one person.
Our guide said that there was enough housing to house 700 to 1,000 Incas.
Local governor named Curaca is the same system.
This is the other side of Machu Picchu. These terraces were all for food. And that mountain is the real Machu Picchu mountain. So another hair-rising bus trip. This time we're going down to Aguas Caliente. Hairpin turns all over the place. So we had a great hotel, but the temperature was about 40 degrees and it was all open air seating for breakfast and lunch and dinner. The next morning we took the train and we drove back to Cusco for our next wild encounter with adventure, which was Rainbow Mountain. And here you see it was a 3-hour trip to Rainbow Mountain on the lower right. And the road in the red, oh my God, it was an hour of bone-jarring drive, as you will see in a minute. Obviously this is a Jeep road and there were no guardrails anywhere and the drop was straight down the mountain. And we are headed for a parking lot that is at 14,000 feet. That's our starting altitude for the hike to Rainbow Mountain.
Sorry.
It is a big traffic jam.
Sorry, you had camera?
Of course.
Please. Espérate, Picture time.
So, hey kids.
Yeah.
A traffic jam on the way to Rainbow Mountain.
Todas se traían para saltar el muro, ¿ah? Y mira, le meten el... Bueno, va.
So are these alpacas? Oh, there's a baby. What are these, Michelle? Are they alpaca?
These are alpaca. Look at the little baby.
So we're at
Report.
about 15,000 feet, is it? We're about
4,500 meters.
All right, that's
Like,
Yuri, our guide.
13,000 feet.
There's my
Off the
esposa,
gloves.
Miguel, the driver.
Oh, yeah, I have some too.
Yeah, that is super good for
Okay.
altitude.
Oh,
Keep going. Probably it's more Speedy Gonzalez coming. The idea, and then this, especially this corner, is take it easy, baby step. Probably the people is coming in the back. Okay, mountain side,
Let them pass.
pass.
so our guide told us That's we the could trail, goes actually all the rent a way up horse and get 3/4 the way up there, get some oxygen bottles, but he looked at us and said, you look in pretty good shape, just follow me. We had to stop every 100 to 200 feet.
Okay.
There they go. There were quite a few people along the trail that were sitting down and had their head between their knees, and they had altitude sickness. Quite a few
Really
didn't
close,
make it. You
man.
got to be in pretty good shape to do this hike.
Es ahí.
Yes, actually the Rainbow Mountain. This is there.
Okay.
This is the Lord for the Incas in this moment.
We're almost at the top.
Ausangate, like 18,000 feet.
Greg, I need to eat a little
Okay.
before we go further. Is it in here?
Yeah.
In the small?
Here we are. Rainbow Mountain. All the way down. All the way down. We walked from over there.
The Red Valley is over there.
Yeah, Red Valley.
That's the view to the Red Valley.
17,000 feet.
Gracias.
Está apagada.
Oh, look at that.
¿Le agarraste?
Yeah.
Bien.
Our guide Yuri said that we did pretty good. We made it to the top in a little bit less than 2 hours, but we were pretty
Well, we
lightheaded.
made it.
As you can see
Yeah, there's
in the
glacier in
next
the
video
background,
clip,
Yuri, what's the altitude?
things are a little shaky because I'm still lightheaded.
500.
Yep. Here's the
Like 70,000 feet.
17,000 feet.
Enjoying.
How much do they charge for that
Depending you. Just the moment the liking is voluntary.
Yeah, we should get a picture with the alpaca.
Oh man, they're too, I don't know. Here's the deal with Rainbow Mountain. It was only found 7 years ago because the snow melted off it and they wanted to mine it because of all the minerals, but everybody said, no, let's keep it for a tourist attraction. And wow, what an attraction if you are in shape and can make it. This is where the horses stop. That's what we just climbed up there. The mountain was beautiful. But guess what? We're never doing this again. There's other montañas.
Yeah. Uno y ya.
We call it one and done.
Yeah, one and done.
Yeah.
So it took us a little bit less than 2 hours up. It took us only 40 minutes to get down.
Kaya, like a sheep, alpaca, like a pom-pom. Another variety is like a Suri alpacas.
Look at the left-hand side of the road with the ladies waving little plastic bags. That means that they have fresh bread to sell. This town is noted now at the end of our trip, and we are flying from Cusco to Lima, and then Lima back to the United States. What a great trip and what a great group of people on GoAhead Tours.